Today I'm critiquing a corner townhouse in Boston, Massachusetts, and then I'm gonna give it an Arvin score at the end of the video. So if you ever decide to build, design, or remodel a property like this, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad, I'm the How to Buy Mansion guy. Let's watch this video together.
There are few streets in Boston as significant and historic as Louisburg Square. For the better part of 2 centuries, this Beacon Hill enclave has represented one of the highest forms of city living, 28 homes surrounding a private park, tucked behind some of the most recognizable architecture in Boston.
He's not kidding. This street and this particular nook within the Beacon Hill neighborhood and this actual house with the wisteria IV plants on the facade was part of my tour. Whenever my friends and family would visit me in Boston, I would walk them by the street and show them, and this would be the house that we would take picture. So I'm fascinated that it's actually on the market and we get to go inside and have all our dreams destroyed.
Today, I'm taking you inside 22 Louisburg Square, a spectacular corner townhome offered at $14.5 million. We will walk through this home together, discussing the features, finishes, history, and location. Welcome to 22 Louisburg Square, one of the most grand homes currently for sale in Massachusetts. My name is Charlie Smith. I'm a Boston real estate agent, and I'm honored to be able to walk you through this property today. I hope this tour both inspires your search and gives you an idea of how I would guide you through a private showing if we were working together. I'd like to thank both the owner and Tracy Campion, the listing agent of this magnificent property, for giving us access today. Before we step inside, I'd like to briefly go over the history in context of Louisburg Square. Now, all of these 28 homes that you see surrounding me were built between 1830 and 1850, mainly designed by the American architect Charles Bulfinch. So when these were completed, they actually became a model for modern townhome development. And since then, they've remained an iconic piece of the Beacon Hill neighborhood.
I have a theory on this. Hear me out. When the Mayflowers and the Europeans arrived to Boston, I don't think they realized how big this country is. They started building the same narrow crap that they were building in London and other European cities over here in Boston. But this makes it, to me, the most charming city in the United States. It's highly flawed, you know? The city only has good weather, a month and a half in spring and a month and a half in fall. The rest is really crap. The summers are extremely hot and humid, and the winters are so cold. When you open your mouth, the saliva in the back of your throat freezes. It is cold. But then at the same time, it's got so much character. It's extremely walkable. You got these cute little neighborhoods. And as far as if you follow my channel, the neighborhoods that you would probably be interested in would be definitely Beacon Hill. That's the old money neighborhood. Back Bay, which is very luxury, fun neighborhood. And I would say probably North End. And to some degree, South End. But my favorites by far is Back Bay, Beacon Hill.
The main centerpiece of Louisburg Square is the beautiful park right in the middle that's surrounded by this wrought iron fence. And a common misconception is that this is a public park. It is not. It is owned by the 28 homeowners here at Louisburg Square.
Which is, again, a European concept, like London, Edinburgh in Scotland. You got these public looking parks which you think you can go inside, but you can't. It's gated and has a key. You gotta have a key to get in to go walk your dog. Again, weird, quirky, but full of character. And to me, when a lot of American cities have become, you know, copy-paste subdivisions of mass builders that build the same freaking crap, when I see a red brick with copper oxidized mezzanine level and shutters, it just makes me smile. It makes me feel like we don't live in a, you know, simulation. Like there's actual choices, you know? I love Boston. If you're an American and you've never been to Boston, put it on your list. It is an absolutely amazing city. It is one of the coolest cities in America. It's a must-see, and it's a great place, by the way, to send your kids for universities.
As you can see, the facade here is absolutely remarkable. This is exactly what you think of when someone says Beacon Hill living. You have the revival architecture, the bow fronts, the black shutters, the bay windows, it all comes together in a way that just captures perfectly the essence of what Beacon Hill is all about. This home is special because it's actually on a corner lot here. What that means practically is that you have two exposures, one of which is the beautiful park as well as Pinckney Street. You get these two views throughout the home, and of course with that comes additional natural light.
And additional noise and additional tourists taking pictures in front of your house. And it's also on the wrong corner. Let me explain. This is the north corner, okay? So the side that is actually opening up to the side street is facing north. That's not ideal. Plus, this is the only hill in Boston, okay? That's why it's called Beacon Hill. So the elevation of the houses across the north side is higher, so they're looking down on your units. As to if it was the other way around, you were on a south corner and you had the elevation over the trench lower than you, you actually would have had views and more privacy. Now, this is not the reason I believe this house hasn't sold. I will show you in a few minutes.
Here we are in the foyer, and immediately you can feel how grand and opulent this space is. To my left, we have this beautiful staircase that leads up to the 6 other living levels of this home. Now, don't worry.
He's like, oh, I screwed up. I shouldn't have said that.
There is a private elevator, so if you have small children, maybe you have an older relative, or you just don't want to deal with stairs, you're covered.
We're not really covered, okay? It's horrible. There's an elevator doesn't fix your 6-story vertical problem, okay? You're going to be running down the stairs on a house that is 200 years old. You heard me right. This is around 200-year-old home, right? Like, this is the actual historical city of America. So homes are really old. The house that I lived in, or the apartment that I lived in Back Bay, I think it was built in 1889. So again, things are really, really old in Boston.
Now, to my right, we have a beautiful double parlor living room. It is very expansive and just so grand. Now, before we discuss this room in detail, I want to break down the specifics of 22 Louisburg Square. So we have 4 bedrooms, 5 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, spread across a little under 7,500 square feet of living space. Additionally, we have not 1, but 2 parking spaces directly outside. And now, if you're not very familiar with Beacon Hill, parking here is extremely rare.
He's right about that. When I was living in Boston, there were some agents that would specialize in trading parking spaces alone. And in Back Bay, the record was $250,000.
Now, there's barely ever any availability to park. And so when a spot comes on, they'll trade for upwards of $700,000. Here, you don't need to worry about that. We have 2 parking spaces directly outside.
No, you still should worry, because for about 6 months in the year, you're going to come outside and it's going to be 5 foot of snow on top of your car. Yeah, that again, I love Boston. Like the first winter, I was all game. I bought myself scarves and, winter fashion and gloves and layered. The second winter I was done. I was like, I can't do this. Winter fashion just gets me so far, but that's probably the weather is by far the worst thing about the city. But that like 3 months in the year when it's good, oh man, it's really, really good.
Right away, your attention is drawn to these massive, almost floor to ceiling windows that look out over the park and bring in just so much natural light. So from here, you'll see the trees changing during the seasons. You'll see snow piling up in the park. You'll see your neighbors walking by. You immediately know that you're somewhere special. Now, over here, we have a fireplace. There are actually 7 fireplaces in 22 Louisburg Square. In the living room, we have 2. We have this beautiful custom wood mantle surrounding it with a stone surround. It's really a piece that I think makes the home feel cozy and inviting. It really acts almost as a natural gathering spot in the room. It's somewhere where you'll entertain and you'll hang out with your family and friends.
What are you doing, bro? You're trying to explain to us how to use a fireplace? Thanks for the instructions. Like, that's not your job. How to use fireplaces. Let's talk about this space, okay? Extremely wasteful. You've got 2 sets of bay windows on each side, and we have seating arrangement after seating arrangement and a, grand piano. Very wasteful. Considering you're still in Boston, you really have to be careful with your spacing. And I promise you, one of the main reasons why this property hasn't sold yet after, a $6 million price cut, started off $20 million, now we're at 14.5, is the fact that it wasn't staged right. And you will see that when we go to the basement level.
Now, let's head into the library. I absolutely love this space. Before we do that, quickly, we have a half bathroom that's going to service this floor for your guests. Immediately next to the half bathroom, we have this beautiful mini bar.
That's great. That was really efficient, because as soon as you drink, you gotta go pee. And the best thing about that bathroom was while you're peeing, you could wash your hands at the same time. Very efficient.
Over here, we have the library. This room has so much character. You have these fully paneled wood walls, and it's really just such a nice office space. I could really see, a creative professional, someone who writes books, someone who writes movies, absolutely thriving here. This is where you get work done. We have exposures looking over Pinckney Street. Now, if you'll follow me, I want to take you into the kitchenette. And this is important because this is the entertaining level. So, you don't need to go downstairs to the formal kitchen to serve food and get drinks. You have it right here. So really nice. We do also have another fireplace here, and it's a larger fireplace with a brick surround and a stone mantle. I really, really like this room.
Me too. This is perhaps one of the best locations of an office in an older homes that I've seen. In fact, this whole floor is really properly assigned. Let me explain why. This is the really first floor, which is you're almost eye level with the street. You're a little bit perched up, but it doesn't have that much privacy. So to allocate this floor to your formal living space where your guests come in, they can be seated and, entertain in this floor. And at the same time, during the day, if you're working from home, your guests could come from the front door straight. They can use the restroom and come to your office, which is really bright, gets a lot of exposures, which makes this floor very self-contained and self-sufficient.
So with that said, why don't we head downstairs and take a look at the formal dining room? And as we do, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Beacon Hill and its significance. Now, Beacon Hill is one of the most charming neighborhoods here because, in my opinion, it feels the most European out of all the neighborhoods in Boston. It's been home to Boston's wealthiest for many years, and it's made up of 3 slopes. We have the north slope, the south slope, and the flat of the hill. We're currently located in the south slope, which has been known to be where Boston's most prestigious have lived.
But it's not because it looks more European. Let me explain. And this is what you can learn. This is what I do in my inner circle. I will share it with you guys so you can get a glimpse of what happens in the inner circle. For example, right now, I have a lot of clients in many different countries, in 20 different countries. So a lot of hot spots from Singapore, Japan, Middle East, Europe, you name it, all over America, obviously. And I help clients shuffle through to different cities because I'm aware of the pulse of the market in different areas. One of the ways where I identify the good neighborhoods within area where I consult is the ratio of commercial to residential units within a neighborhood. Beacon Hill is significantly more residential than commercial. And why is that important? It's important because commercial units like retail store fluctuate heavily with economy. So when the economy goes down, it closes down. It attracts the wrong type of people. It attracts homeless. It just looks ruined. It looks run down during a downturn in the economy. As to a residential place, doesn't fluctuate that way as much as a commercial place does. And also, the more lower income units you have, apartment buildings or higher zoning, right, next to lower zoning, it attracts different type of people and wealth during different cycles of economy. And that could also affect your, ultra high-end residential neighborhoods. So you want to pay attention to how far you are from more densely zoned or commercial zone. And that alone, if it hasn't materialized in your city, it's an opportunity where you should, and I will promise you, in the next 10, 20 years, real estate is long term, it will eventually find that value within it. If you are interested about the Inner Circle or the Platinum Partners strictly for developers, I have 3 slots left. I would love to take you in.
So now we're here in the formal dining room. I love the detailing on the walls. I love the cream colored wallpaper, and it's a grand open space, but at the same time, it feels intimate. Now this table seats about 10, but you could easily fit a larger table here and accommodate more guests. I could see Christmas, Thanksgiving dinners, whatever you celebrate. It's perfect. You have plenty of room to host and gather and dine.
Too much room, very wasteful. The dining table should not be here. I believe if they rearrange the furniture in this house, it will sell significantly faster because it's so wasteful. This dining room 100% should have been upstairs. Yeah, 2 bay windows. You should have put a round dining table at one of the back windows. You didn't need a grand baby piano. You could have had a wall piano, kept it more entertaining in the center, and you would have designated one of the bay window areas for formal dining and knocked it out of the park because you do not have enough living space. But the second flaw of this unit, it doesn't have access from the garden level. That means you don't have that flexibility to maybe carve out a guest house or guest unit for the lower place where you can have a guest house within your house. They can have their own entrance or exit.
Now let's head into the kitchen, which is separate, of course, but it's close enough that you can easily bring food out. You can have a private chef, you can have catering. It works very well for the space. So before we get into the kitchen, actually, we have this nice little seating area here. This is where you would unwind after a meal. It looks out onto your private garden here. So if you'll follow me, let's head into the kitchen. So here we are in the chef-grade kitchen. It's definitely more traditional, right? We have these granite countertops and this patterned backsplash that I like as well. We have a cherry oak cabinetry and massive Wolf appliances here. This looks to be about an 8 burner.
This is old. This might be as old as the building. Okay, horrible kitchen and horrible kitchen placement. Do you see what's going on? Right after this kitchen, he's going to show us the family room, which is so small. The kitchen is not up to par to this place, and it doesn't even have a proper family room. You will see what I'm talking about once you see the family room. It's just like the smallest room in the house.
Now let's head into the sitting room here, which looks out onto the private garden. So this room, it's really nice because you have these French doors that lead directly out into your private garden. So that's such a nice feature because it brings this continuity, this indoor-outdoor living feel to the space. It's very special. We also have another fireplace here with this brick surround and this wood mantle that I like. And this is really a room where you just relax. You would sit here after a meal, maybe.
Dude, this is the second room for digestion purposes. The last area you said, this is a great place to sit down after you eat.
This is where you would unwind after a meal.
Horrible layout, right? This is your family room. I don't think he even knows where he is. This is where the TV room is, right? It's horrible arrangement. And if you're thinking, Arvin, why the hell are we at the basement level or garden level? It's because this is the only area that you have an outdoor space. And it is a big deal to have an outdoor space in Boston, okay? So they're trying to put the area where you can have that indoor-outdoor connectivity for the family use. I get it, but the arrangement is horrible. That whole dining room area should be your family room, right? That's where you have the TV. That's where you have the lounge. You have a big sitting area. Everyone can hang out together. Then the space dividing these two little rooms should be the kitchen that goes all across, right? Across this kind of a Tetris shape area. That should be the kitchen. And part of the kitchen should open up to this terrace as well as your breakfast nook, which would be over here. Now, which type of a breakfast nook I'm thinking for this property? If you've ever watched The Gayest House I've Ever Critiqued, it's a really funny video and it's not what you think. You would absolutely love that video. It's a really, really good example of how to do this really grand breakfast area connected to your kitchen, which would be a center of gravity and draw people in. And then you can actually have a space that anchors right next to your terrace area, which gives the terrace utility. This room doesn't.
So now let's head outside to my favorite feature of the home, the private garden. Now, outdoor space in Beacon Hill, it's truly unheard of because the neighborhood itself is so small. There's just not the room to have outdoor space like this. I could probably count on two hands the amount of properties in Beacon Hill that have this amount of room. I love how serene it is. I love the greenery. You know, it's a perfect place to entertain, to relax. You can eat out here, you can dine out here, you can read a book, just unwind.
Bro, thanks for giving us instructions to life. What we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. In the current setup, what I want to do over here is slap the architect, okay? Because it's horrible. That's what I want to do. Because you can't do any of this stuff that you just mentioned. It just doesn't connect naturally.
So I'm going to take you upstairs to the primary level. I'll see you up there. So here we are on the primary level of 22 Louisburg Square. Now this is a really, really nice, expansive primary. So we have room for a king or California king-sized bed. We have seating areas, and we also have a dressing room that I'll show you soon. But first, let's head over here because I want to show you the amazing views that you get from this primary suite. You directly look over the park, and you also look over Pinckney Street. So again, so beneficial to have those two exposures.
This is not the best view in Boston, far from it. In fact, Boston's got a very wide variety of different dynamic views that are fascinating. The fact that the brownstones and the high rises are so, counterbalancing each other in different core sections. And then you've got the Atlantic, you've got the historical buildings and monuments and signages. And then you've got the MIT view, the Cambridge, and the Charles River view itself. Incredible city. Again, you got to go to Boston. If you haven't been, book yourself a flight. Go check out Boston. You would not regret it.
We have another fireplace here. So why don't we head through here? I'm going to show you one of two bathrooms in this suite. This would be his bathroom. And we have a vanity here and then a beautiful marble tub. Now, we do also have a hers bathroom, and that's also where the dressing room is in this suite. So if you'll follow me this way, here we are. This is your own dressing room.
Very Parisian, very comfortable, but very wasteful. This is smaller closet space than most his and hers.
We have seating space. It's the ideal place to get ready to go out. If you'll follow me through here, this is her bathroom. And in here, we have the shower, we have a bidet, toilet, and this beautiful marble vanity.
This is strange. So his bathroom had a bath, but hers had a shower. I wasn't expecting that.
Let's head back out, and I want to make sure you get another look at the room because I absolutely love this. It's so rare to find a space like this anywhere in Boston with the dressing room, the two bathrooms, so nice. This room actually measures about 15 by 24 feet approximately, and just that alone gives you a sense of true single-family living. You would really find a suite like this in the suburbs. This is not what you would expect to find right smack dab in the middle of the city.
No, this is not as big as the manors or the estates or mansions in Newton or the suburbs. They're way bigger than this. This is a very good size, I would say plus size for Back Bay or Beacon Hill. Very good size. But again, there are wider ones than this too. This is not the widest townhouse I've seen in Boston.
Now I want to head upstairs. I want to show you the two additional guest bedrooms, and then we'll head to the top floor and take a look at the housekeeper's suite. So here we are on the second to last floor, right? We have this amazing secondary guest bedroom suite. It's a little bit smaller than the primary. It doesn't have the dressing room, but it's so vast and expansive. The ceiling heights are a similar size to the primary, and here you really get those views of the park. Imagine sitting here, waking up.
I don't know if it looks really like a park. It looks more like, you know, the central median, the tree line in the middle of the boulevard. Like, this is a really good one. It's like, okay, really juiced up one. Very generous boulevard.
Over here, we have the bathroom. Again, sizable. You have plenty of space. Here we have the other guest suite. Again, expansive. The views aren't quite as good from here.
And where's the bathroom? You don't tell me you have to go to your brother's room to use the restroom, because he won't let you in. We've all had older siblings. Or younger ones. You have to wait. You have to take down the stairs to use the restroom. I don't think there's two restrooms here. I think the only restroom here is in the other bedroom, and that would be a massive problem.
And this is the housekeeper's suite. So we have a small kitchen area. We have the bathroom. And from this bedroom, actually, we have incredible views towards Cambridge, the Charles River, and sites of Back Bay.
Look at this. And this is not even a top level. This is a mezzanine level, and it's not even the best view angle, but you still get that, you know, a little bit of church, a little bit of water, Charles River, Charles Bridge, Cambridge. Again, very dynamic, right? A very dynamic city, very interesting city. All right, let's give it an Arvin score. But before I do that, if you're a developer and you want to know what's happening in other hot spots around the world, I consult in 20 different countries. I can show you what architects in each one of these countries are building and what are the next trends that you haven't seen because they haven't been built yet. But what's coming in the next 2 to 3 years? I would love to put you in a community of like-minded people so we can help each other become better developers, identify trends, not just finishes and material and layouts, but which hotspots, which cities are going to be, you know, thriving in the next 5 to 10 years. I would love to guide you. Fill out the form. There's 3 more spots left. I would love to have you in our Platinum Partners. Okay, location, Beacon Hill, hands down, 10 out of 10. Lot quality, very, very small, and it was slightly angled at the same time. I can't give it anything more than a 2. Lot utilization, horrible. These townhouses don't have any frontage or side setbacks. It gets a 0. Privacy, it's not private at all. You're a corner unit, so you have one more extra exposure, and you have some neighbors looking down on you, but then they place the stairway in the right place to kind of block that. It's still not going to get anything more than a 2.5. Lot orientation, you're west and north facing. I'm going to give it a 7. Architectural style, if you're a local, you've probably seen this house. Everyone takes pictures in front of this house. It's kind of like the symbol of that little park area, right? That little nook, because it's the corner unit. It's beautiful. It's proportional. It's authentic. It's kind of the, you know, the blueprint for the rest of the townhouses over there. I'm going to give it a 9. Views. Look, I don't call that a park view. That was a tree-lined street view. And at the mezzanine level, you got a little bit of Charles River. The rest of the stuff was not that good. I have to give it a 4. Layout. This was a disaster. You had 6 floors, vertical connectivity issues, and then you committed to having your kitchen and family room at the garden level, and you screwed it up massively. Having said that, this is a huge renovation project that I think you could make it something really, really special if you spend a lot of money in it. But as it is right now, I can't give it anything more than a 3. Scale and volume. For Beacon Hill, it was really, really good. The ceiling heights were excellent and the proportions were really, really good. I'm going to give it an 8. Finishes. Look, the kitchen was really dated. The bathrooms had to be redone. Maybe the floors could have been saved. But overall, it just needs a complete redo. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 5. Now, this is the Gaius house. Watch the kitchen and the breakfast nook over here and see what I was talking about. Implementing that at the garden level and making that really garden level the really cool, amazing family living space where you would actually anchor the family down and keep it down there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the comments. Take care.